Oh, I didn't see if the mic's working. It is. Hey y'all, good morning. Today I am at Providence Canyon State Park in Georgia. And wow, is this park not beautiful. This park has some canyons which are really nice. It was really lovely seeing those. I've never obviously seen those. And I'm walking this trail here, which is kind of like where the canyon leads to, all the river. I mean, I don't know if you call this a river, but where the stream goes. And now it's starting to get like a little deeper, but you really are just walking on this the whole time. It's pretty cool. I really enjoy it. And it's also, I didn't look at the time, but it's probably around 11 in the morning. It's a beautiful, perfect time to be out. Weather is perfect. The sun is perfect. I'm very comfortable. This is, I'm actually having such a good time right now. So I'm pretty happy about that. But I was doing some thinking earlier. I know I mentioned in another one of these that I like to hike alone. And I was wondering, I was like, why? I wonder why I like to hike alone. Not in like a bad way. I was just so curious. Like, I wonder what leads me to like being alone. And so I was thinking about it. And I realized, I think, what I came to the conclusion of. Also, look at this. I'm not sure what this is for. I'm guessing it's like a hive or a little bird, just like a little bird nest. It's pretty cool though. I really like that it's there. It's very cute. But I was like trying to think of why I might like going out alone more than I do with others sometimes. And I think a lot of it is that when I go with other people, I'm constantly thinking about them. Not in like a terrible way, but in like I wonder what they want to do. I wonder if I'm talking too much. I wonder if I'm moving too fast. I wonder this, that. And so I'm always, oh, that's a bird. It's right up there on that tree branch. The lizard, I saw a lizard earlier. It was a little tiny green one. Maybe a knoll. I don't know. But I was just like, it's because I'm going to cut to the chase here. I think I might have autism, and I'm seeking a diagnosis. And I say that because I tend to experience a lot of social anxiety and overthink a lot. And I realize I take things pretty literally, among a lot of other things that I can't remember off the dome, but I do have them written down in my phone, so I don't forget. Oh, isn't that a cool plant? It looks like almost looks like little grapevines. I kind of like that. You can see them behind me too. I don't know what kind of tree this is, but it's one of my favorites I've seen out here. But I think like either I'm autistic or I got ADHD or something, because I don't know, man. The way I experience life, I feel like is not the normal way to experience life. And just on top of that, a lot of the things I've seen, now I might get clowns for this, on TikTok. There's like a lot of autistic creators out there, and they'll share their experiences with autism. And I wouldn't think much of it if it was just like one TikTok or two or even five. If it was just like five TikToks where they're like, yeah, this is my experience with autism. But it's like every single one of them. And I'm just like, oh, that is an experience I have. Wait, that's not normal? I thought everyone did that. And so that is leading me to think that I'm autistic or I got ADHD or something of the sorts, because that's just what my experiences seem to be indicative of. That is what I'm trying to say. Um, and I mention that because, like I said, I really like walking these trails alone. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I realize, I think it's because then I don't need to worry. I can let go of all that like social pressure, social anxiety. And so there's like a bee whizzing around me. It's distracting me. But I can let go of all the social pressure and trying to fit in. And I guess masking is the word, huh? But I can let go of all that. Oh, that's a big guy. I think that's one of the reasons why I like coming out here alone, is I can just kind of be myself, and including recording this. I don't. I think about like how I look a little bit and how I'm being perceived, but also I know that no one's gonna watch this, so I'm not really that concerned about it. And plus, I don't care if anyone watches. I feel comfortable posting, and I feel good about myself. So that's what it's all about, right? But that's just some realization I've come to in the past year of my life. It's just like, yeah, I don't think I'm normal, which would explain a lot. I used to be in the gifted program, and oh, butterfly. That's a black one. I saw a lot of yellow ones, like yellow and black ones. That one's just black with like white dots on its wings. Yeah, I used to be in the gifted and advanced program in my elementary school and middle school. And I don't know if you know anything about it. Maybe it's not the same in everyone's high school, but the gifted class is just full of neurodivergent kids. Like, that's it. And, there's probably a few like neurotypical ones in there that are just like really smart, but most of them are neurodivergent in some way. Almost all of them are on like ADHD meds, or they're autistic, or something. And so, like, realizing that, and I'm like, no, I'm just the one normal kid in the gifted class. I'm not like one of them. Ugh. Like, all right, bro, what do you want? You're in that class. You're one of them. And this doesn't necessarily go hand in hand, but a lot of the people in that class were also gay as hell. I don't mean that in a bad way, because what I'm about to say is that I realized I'm definitely pan. I couldn't give a shit what the gender of a person was. And I've always felt that way, but like I just never found myself attracted to any kind of dude. So I was just like, I'm not like explicitly caring about the gender. But then like now I know of dudes that I'm like, oh, I would date that guy or someone else to that guy. Or they could do it to me. Catch my drift? Like I'm realizing, oh yeah, I am. I could like dudes. I do like dudes. It sounds weird as hell when I word it like that, but oh well, I'm coming out. All right, fucking deal with it. I told my friends, it's really not a big deal to me. I'm very comfortable in my sexuality. I'm just like, yeah, if I like them, I like them. I'm not like, oh, it's a dude or oh, it's a girl. It was kind of inevitable, honestly. I always found myself attracted to the bi girls or the lesbians. The worst part about that is that they don't want me. Especially when I was younger, I was like a little shit. I got like a spider web on my arm. Get that off. All right, let's keep moving. Yeah, no, I was like exclusively, not like on purpose. Hello, another lizard. But I just found like that I kept falling for like lesbians, and that like it's that super androgynous type of person that I find that I'm very attracted to. And so inevitably that bleeds over into dudes. So I'm really attracted to like really feminine guys or really masculine women. Just that middle, if there's like masculinity and femininity, right there in the middle is where I like my a partner or whatever it is. But like I don't really think about it much, and I didn't come out to anyone. Not like I come out to my family or my brother or my friends, some of my friends. But it's like again, it's just not a big deal to me. I've always been pretty comfortable about it, so I never really felt the need to like go and like say, guys, I'm pan. I'm sure they'd be like cool with it anyways. My family's not like super liberal, but socially they're pretty, they're one of those people, you know, economically conservative, socially liberal, one of those. And so they wouldn't give a shit. My other friends, maybe not. I think they're a bit more traditional, but who cares? I don't talk to them anymore, anyways. I found that I'm drifting away from them a lot. A lot of it's just college and video games. We used to play video games a lot when we were growing up. After school or whatever, I'd get home or work. I'd get home and do all my stuff, and then boom, time to play some video games. And then we'd all hop on the Discord and we all play whatever it is. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. I do kind of miss it sometimes, but I just don't play video games like that anymore. So I really don't talk to them anymore. I don't have time to be playing video games. I think I mentioned that in another one where I just don't have time anymore, dude. I barely have time to do shit like this. So to think that I could be hitting some video games too, fuck. And if I'm playing them, I'm not good at them. Not that I need to be good at them. I can enjoy a game just for the game. But, I don't really talk to them anymore because that was like our only thing. We only play video games. I see them every once in a while. Like if it's UFC night, I'm not crazy for UFC, but if there's a good fight on, I'll watch. And so sometimes we'll all talk about that, like, oh, you all see the fight? Yeah, I saw the fight. It was good, or whatever. I don't know any of the people, so I don't really know much, but they love to talk about it. But that's also part of it. Our interests are so different, especially we lean very different politically. So it's also hard to talk about stuff because it's not like I'm not just like a Democrat. I'm a leftist. I'm a pretty hardcore leftist, working my way deeper as we speak. Um, and they're like pretty traditional. They're not political. They think they're not political, but obviously they're pretty political in terms of they're just traditional. They stick to the whatever. But it's like that makes it hard to talk about normal stuff in life. Like when you can't talk about current events because they're not going to have the same take on it, and they're not going to have nearly. I don't want to be rude, but they're not going to have nearly as educated a take on, say, Iran, right? Like if I were to point out, oh no, like this war in Iran is not about freeing the Iranians. It's about literally just fighting Israel's war for no fucking reason and just destabilizing the Middle East. They're gonna be like, what, dude? What? We would never do that. Except that's exactly what we do and have done for like a century now. But what do I know? I'm just an educated guy. But that just makes it hard to talk to them about stuff. And so even when I do hang out with them, I feel like the conversations can't get that deep. One of them, I definitely can. That's one of my best friends. He's probably the most liberal one in that group. And I do like talking to him a lot. And he's very open minded too. Like he knows, I don't want to word it bad, but like he acknowledges sometimes where, oh, I don't know a lot about that. Like, can you tell me about it? And we'll talk about it. And I'll also say, like, I think I know a lot, but I may not. So you should look at this yourself. Like, we'll have that kind of discussion. I really appreciate him for it. Because one, it gives me someone to talk to. I don't always have that. And two, he's being pretty open minded about this stuff. And I can always respect that. The other friends aren't so open minded. I remember I got really mad. I didn't get mad. I just got upset. And I didn't even argue or yell or anything. I just kind of shelled up because I do that a lot. I'm very bad at confrontation. That's something I'm working on. I'm getting better at it. I'm very bad at it still. But we were like talking about something political, and they were saying like, I'm trying to remember what the topic was. I think it has something to do with poverty or something. And, or was it cops? It may have been cops. But I said, like, I think I said something about some leftist take on policing, right? And it was like, yeah, well, crimes of poverty or something, something, something. And then my brother, or no, it wasn't him, but someone said, oh, that's just your opinion, though. And I'm like, just my opinion. There's two things I see wrong with that. Is one, statistics aren't opinions, and facts aren't opinions. Like, if I say, oh, no, but if you're more likely to be in poverty, or sorry, if you're in poverty, you're more likely to commit a crime because poverty breeds crime. That's not really much of an opinion. That's one, an argument, and two, substantiated by evidence, right, or studies, or what have you. And two, you're just not even, you're not even like, what's the word here? You're not even trying to interact with it. That's like it's a conversation stopper. I think there's a word for that, but you shut down the conversation. So you did two things. You misrepresented and invalidated what I said, and you ended the conversation saying, oh, there's just difference of opinions. So it's like, what the fuck, dude? First of all, it could have been a great discussion. And second of all, an opinion is not fact. And if you're believing in things that aren't facts, then I'm sorry to say, is that the way I have to go? I don't remember. I know this trail split at some point. I see two paths. Let me see if there's any trail markers over here. And if there are, then I'll wander. No, I don't really see any. I'll go this way then. Oh well. It's a pretty big trail, so I'm not too worried if I miss like the that one. Uh, that's mostly. I think I just said all that to say I don't really talk to those friends much anymore. We very much drifted away at this point. I'm sure I'll end up talking to them again, especially when I go home. I'll be home for like a month in the summer, so I'll probably. Sorry. I'll have the opportunity probably to talk to them again, but who knows how that's going to go. I keep finding that one of my friends, he's like, he's not he's not very political, but he also embodies very well manosphere content. Like, he's a gym guy, for one, and so he's a big dude. He looks pretty good, so good for him. I'm actually proud of him for that. Oh, look at that butterfly! Look at it. That's one of those yellow ones I was talking about. I love him. But he's like a gym guy. He's like one of those guys, right? Like, no, men gotta be strong. Now I want my woman to submit to me. And I'm not even kidding. That's how he likes his relationship. Which, like, all right, dude. Go okay. Like, I take issue with that because it's obviously very dehumanizing of women and his girlfriend. Um, but like, also, you're allowed to live your life how you want to live your life. So like, all right, dude. And it's very hard to point out the misogyny in that take, but that would need, for me to explain that to him, I would need to deconstruct at this point 2 decades worth of masculine socialization that he's experienced. And not only do I want to do that, I don't think I have the tools equipped to do that because I barely know how I did it myself. I think I just did it because I was autistic and didn't really fit in. Oh, I thought I heard something. I didn't really fit in, so I'm like, I'm not going to do the traditional thing. I'm going to stop trying to fit in because it didn't really work. I really like when I was younger, I learned like I'm just gonna let go of these like social, like the social programming. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let go of traditional gender roles. I'm gonna let go of these traditional things I should be doing, and I'm just gonna like figure it out myself. Because the traditional shit was not working for me. And I'd argue it doesn't work for anyone. It perpetuates inequality in our society today, but that's a conversation for another day. But like, that was a long process and required the right triggers in my life. Part of it was being into politics when I was really young and being very conservative. That was part of the process, unfortunately. And also being gifted was part of that process, right? Because as conservative as I thought I should have been, everyone else in the class was pretty liberal or leftist or progressive even. Because they're gifted kids, and especially the teachers weren't very political. I'm gonna get that out the way, but like they taught pretty liberally. You know what I mean? You could tell a difference. If there's a good teacher, they're probably not conservative. you know. And so like I was surrounded by a lot of progressive ideas, by people I trust and I care about, and so I actually listened to them, and eventually this led down to me being a liberal and now a progressive and a leftist and blah, 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 and so on. But I can't do that for him. I can't do that all alone. He didn't even vote. This friend, he didn't even vote, and he was wearing like a Trump shirt, like a big MAGA shirt. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was corny as fuck. It was really corny. I should have clowned him for it, especially because he didn't vote. I'm like, dog, you didn't even vote, and you're wearing this Trump shirt. Whatever. It was corny as hell. It was like one of those. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like trying to paint him as a really cool fucking badass. And if it was a cool shirt, like if it was anyone else, probably would have been a dope ass shirt. It was Donald Trump. I was like, bro, that's corny as fuck. Gotta lock it up, man. Oh well. That's one thing I really want to figure out how to do is like try to influence people towards the left, because it's really easy to influence people to the right. You just like point at problems and blame immigrants, basically, or the Jews. I don't know. I find that very interesting how like the far left and the far right have very similar takes on Israel, but for very different reasons. And funny enough, my friends are actually very anti-Israel, but not because they're pro-Palestine or because they don't like imperialism or whatever. They just fucking hate Jews. And so like they'll say like something like anti-Israel. I'm like, yeah, you're getting it. And they'll be like, yeah, these greedy fucking Jews. I'm like, oh, we're not fishing, we're not on the same team here. Um, so I find that very interesting. And it's like, how do I argue that? Especially to them, they're not gonna be like, oh, I disagree. They'll be like, no, what do you mean? We agree. We hate Israel. And I'd be like, no, well, we disagree for different reasons. Like, who cares? I hate Israel too. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna give a shit. If they did give a shit, they would agree, but they don't. They also have like the worst take on Palestine ever. They're like, yeah, I hate Israel and I hate Palestine. I hate everyone. It's such a fucking stupid take. It's just an uneducated take. It's just one of those takes you give people when you don't actually want to think, right? When you don't actually have a take, so you just say, I hate everyone. It's a lot like the BLM shit. Like, no, I don't like BLM, but no lives matter. Like, all right, dude. Okay. What the fuck are you talking about? you know? It's just a terrible take after terrible take. Like, just say that you're uneducated. That's it. Okay. But I kind of want to go back to the autism thing. I think this is kind of part of what made me kind of think that I am and why I'm seeking a diagnosis is because, now I lost my train of thought. Just all like the way I think about all the socialization, like a lot of the times I think of it in terms of like dynamics, like the social dynamic of this room or of this group of people. Like, how does how does it work? How's the dynamic of this group work? And then I try to figure out where I can fit in, right? And I find that I'm most comfortable in two types of situations socially. And that's situations where I'm in control, or situations where the rules are very well set. And very much the same thing. If I'm in control, I know the rules. I know the rules of engagement or whatever, because I set them. So like if I'm a boss of a thing, or if I'm in charge of this project or whatever, I know the rules because I set the rules. And I'm pretty open. Like I'm not like one of those like, you do it like this, you do it blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, all right, y'all, let's just do it. I don't know. I'm pretty open. I'm not like very strict when it comes to socialization if I'm in charge. Quite the opposite, I think. Probably a little too lax, but get off my phone, fly. Or if the rules are like really easy to figure out. And that could happen two ways. One, if I'm at the group or a place for a long time, eventually I'll figure out how like the dynamic works and find a comfortable spot in it. Or if I see two cardinals up ahead. Oh, nice. Or if I don't really know of an example, if it's just a place where it's pretty easy to figure it out. Work, I found a pretty good niche at work. It's a very casual work environment, which I appreciate, because I hate formalities. Like, I don't know, I hate it. I hate dressing up for work. I'll say that's one thing I don't love. Oh, look at these two cardinals. I don't think they're in the frame. Very pretty cardinals. Those are two boys. They're so pretty. So pretty. I may have seen a girl. I saw a brown one. I didn't catch if it was a cardinal or not, but they may be. I love the sound of these birds. That's another reason that, why I stopped putting my earbuds in. When I go on these, I like hearing the nature. I realized it's very nice. These like the bird calls. You kidding me? That's awesome. But that's like one of the reasons I think I'm autistic, because I'm constantly thinking in social dynamics. And I'm also a crazy people pleaser. And I heard, it may not be true, this is on TikTok, but I heard that a lot of autistic people become people pleasers because all they want to do is fit in. And I know that in my experience, all I have ever wanted was to fit in and feel invited and feel welcome in a community. That's all I've ever wanted anywhere I go. And so I think because of that, I eventually developed like people pleaser habits where I'm like, yes, anything you want, I'll do it. Just be my friend, please. I did that a lot. And I still do. Let's be honest. The only problem with that is that it comes with a lot of anxiety, or it's fueled by anxiety. Now that I think about it, it could be the other way around. Either way, because of this, or in spite of, I don't know the word, but this is accompanied by anxiety, like social anxiety of, am I doing enough? Am I doing this right? Am I socializing right? How do I look? Do I look weird? And these thoughts are constantly going through my head. And even when I'm on these trails, if I see someone, I'm putting the camera down. I'm like, hey. Like I'm super, like I hate being perceived with this, because I'm like, what if they judge me? What if they're like, oh, who's this chud with a camera in the woods talking about autism? Like, you know what I mean? And so I want to diagnose this. It's fucking hard though. I was trying to go through insurance, but they, whatchamacallit? I'm trying to find like a psychologist in the area that's also covered by the insurance, but it's really hard. Not only because I barely have time, but when I do have time, I then need to like send an email or a text or a call and be like, hey, are you covered if I look for this thing, if I need this type of thing, and oh hey, the first bridge. If I need, oh, I wonder what that is. Like if I need this, can you cover it on insurance? And so far I've been told no, exclusively. Like, oh, we don't do the diagnostic through insurance, only the therapy or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, that's not helpful. Oh, look at that. And there's a cute little bridge over here too. Very gorgeous. I love this park. I also brought some Uncrustables so that once I find a spot that I like, I'll sit down and I'll eat some lunch. And grapes. I found grapes too. Oh, I bought. I bought grapes. It's hard. I have terrible memory. And I find it so weird. I don't know if it's something I've always been like. I know I've always had like not the best memory, but I feel like it's not always been so bad. Like if you were to tell me like, oh, you remember this, or do you have an experience like this? I'll probably remember then. But if I'm just living about my day, and maybe this is a really stupid take, but like I don't think about my past a lot. Oh my gosh, a ladybug. Look at that. Oh, focus on the bug. Oh, well, that's very cute. I don't like remember a lot just like throughout my life. And I kind of miss it. Like I feel like I used to. Like I feel like I used to be like, yeah, I used to think about my past and a lot. I think maybe I'm thinking back to when I used to reflect a lot about my life and of things that made me believe I'm autistic. Because doing so requires a lot of looking back in your life and being like, oh yeah, that experience I had when I was a child is pretty indicative of autism. You know, some of it requires a lot of that. And so maybe now that I'm a little bit past that, maybe I don't remember. But honestly, I couldn't tell you. That's kind of the reason I'm doing these videos, and especially on this trip, is because I want to remember, not only like just in a year or so, but maybe I can keep these for a long time and remember what I was, what I was thinking, the kind of person I was, you know? That's not a crazy take there. That's a big reason people take pictures and record videos on their own, is for the memories. Holy shit, this shit's steep. I was not ready for it. I just climbed that mountain yesterday. That reminds me, man, these Georgia drivers don't know nothing about speeding. Where I'm from in Florida, South Florida, you go 85 at a minimum. That's the right lane on the highway. Holy shit, man. Oh, it's flattening out, I think. Thank God. That's pretty though. Well, I'm gonna take a second right here. Yeah, these Georgia drivers don't know shit about driving fast, I swear. Because I'm like, I drove in Florida my whole life. And so I'm like ready to hit that gas pedal and move. But then I'm stopped by people in front of me going like 80 on the left lane. And I'm like, fuck. But like, these are the locals. And so I'm not gonna go past them because there's a shit ton of cops. On my way to that waterfall yesterday, I was driving to and through Atlanta. I saw so many cops on the way there. I can go the whole drive from home to Tallahassee and not see a single cop on the road and be going 95 the whole time. Nothing like that in Georgia. And it drives me crazy a little bit because holy cow. Oh, god damn. Lizard. I just had to vent that frustration real quick because, come on, Georgia, learn how to go fast. It's hard because I'm like, I'm used to a certain speed on the highway, you know? Like you feel like you're on the highway and you want to go a certain speed. But I can't because if I go that speed, I'm going to be going like 85. And that's a big no-no. The fastest speed limit I saw here was like 65. Like, bro, come on. Or 50, lots of 55s. I hate that. Because it'd be the most open. Oh, I'm about to sit down right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, tripod. Hold on, let me set this up. That feels good. Yeah, these drivers in Georgia, man, they don't know nothing about no speeding. Fair enough. This is very stupid complaints. I'm just a young guy, just trying to move fast, so I get it. I'm sure I'll get old one day and be like, man, I was driving like a fucking idiot. I don't think I drive that bad, you know? I go fast, but I don't cut up. I'm not like one of those. I'm not one of those drivers that are constantly like, shoo, 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 all the way through traffic. I just go fast. That's it. And by fast, oh, I was gonna say by fast, I mean 95, but that is pretty fast, admittedly. It's very pretty out here. I'm thinking later today I'm gonna hit up Auburn in Alabama. There's a park over there. I forget what it's called, but it looks like it'd be really pretty. And so I'm thinking about going to that. And then that's kind of it. I think that'd be the end of my trip. I don't have much else. That was my whole plan. I had a day of here, which is not 2 days, but this will be over by 3, I bet. And so I'll have time to get to Auburn. I wanted to go here. I wanted to go to North Georgia. I've been to Columbus and around Columbus. And then once I do Auburn, that's kind of everything I plan to do. And so I might leave early tomorrow. I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty excited to be back home in my own bed with my food. I want to cook. I might make empanadas this week as like my like you made it this far. You made it to the end of spring break. You made it this far in your life without killing yourself. And so here's some empanadas. And I want to make them. I like making them. It sounds fun. But I say this has been a pretty good spring break. I've done a good job at not being stressed and not letting myself get anxious. Very good job. Because there are times where I'm like getting anxious about relationships or just in general. I'll just like be anxious for a day. And I'm just like, I'll take a minute. And like it sounds corny as fuck. And so I never did it. And then I was like, fuck it, let me try it. But they always tell you, like, oh, take a deep breath in, and like, deep breath in, let it out, and then you need to accept the anxiety and be like, I acknowledge your anxiety, and then you gotta let it go. And so I did that, and it worked. Like, god damn it, why did the corniest thing work? It's so stupid, but it worked. And so I've been practicing that. Sounds like some hippy dippy shit. But I've been doing a good job, and so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And it allows me to actually enjoy my time on these trails, like I am right now. Recording videos tends to be very anxiety inducing. A lot of it's because I'm always worried about how I'm being perceived. And I'm always like, am I going to look like a chump? Am I going to look weird? Not normal? But two things. One, I remember no one's watching this. And then two, this isn't about other people. Recording this video is for me. Every time I make one of these, I tend to put it back on, like later in the same day. And I'll find myself actually watching it and enjoying it. Oh god, there's a bee. Get away from me, bruh. I don't want you. I don't like bees. That's a lie. I like bees. I don't like wasps. I don't know what that was. I respect them though. They're all important, unfortunately. But yeah, what was I saying? This is for me, and I realize like I'll look back at it and I'll enjoy watching it back. And like that's what it's about. It's not really about other people, it's about me. And that also tells me that this serves as a good like little snapshot of my life. At least I think so. I try to just speak my mind, whatever's on my mind that day, that week. I think I'll keep moving. This was a good rest, but I'm ready to keep going. Looks like there's a lot more pretty stuff ahead, so now I gotta set this back up, so bear with me. I'll probably end up cutting those out, like the parts where I just put it back together. I don't know if those are really good watches, but whatever. But yeah, and I find it very interesting. I haven't cried on this trip, and I say that's interesting as I thought I would have, but I didn't really find the need to. I felt pretty good the whole time. And sometimes I can cry and have like a good cry. And I love those. Those are when I let myself feel very vulnerable and I'm able to just experience whatever emotion I'm struggling with. And I really appreciate those moments. Spiderweb. But surprisingly, I haven't had one on this trip like I otherwise thought I would have. Well, I guess I'm not complaining. It's not bad to cry, but it's also not bad not to cry. And so, I guess it's not too bad. This is a very pretty view up here. You can kind of see the mountains through the tree line, which is very pretty. I'm hoping I can make some more trips to Georgia here, because this has been a very nice trip so far. And a lot of this isn't too far from Tallahassee. I mean, this canyon is far enough that you can just make a day trip out of it, or even like a half day trip. It's only about 2 hours north of Tallahassee. So I can easily come here just like on a Saturday, bring a friend or two and excuse me, and have a good time. I should do that. Man, that's gorgeous. I'm not even gonna bother flipping the camera because it's not gonna capture it. Oh, hey. That's one of those plants I was talking about the other day. That one? Yes. That one there in the back. Something about Native Americans. I'm not going to repeat myself. You're going to have to watch one of my other ones. Or maybe I'll make this one big one. I don't know. I haven't uploaded either of them yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for. My phone's been dead like every time I'm out of every time I'm out. My phone's dead by the end of the day. So then I don't have the time to upload. And also I'm like, I don't want to upload anymore. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So I do that. Maybe I'll do it when I get home. I'm going to go home tomorrow. So I'll probably upload then. There was a fire there, still smoldering. I didn't want to bother anyone who may have been taking a little nap. Though I think I saw them earlier this hike. Must be nice though, camping out here. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. I don't really know much else what to talk about other than just reiterating things about autism. That was the main thing I wanted to talk about today, and I think I touched the points that I really wanted to get to. I'm sure I missed a bunch, but oh well. Until I make a dedicated video about it, I'm sure I'll miss a lot. Maybe one day I'll do that. Well, yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed it. I sure did. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Adios.